Well, even with all of that pushback and the threats, Texas Democrats say they are standing their ground. And Hays County Democrat Representative Erin Zwiener is one of them. She is joining us live. Thank you for your time, Representative.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Tell us a little, where you are right now.
Well, I am in transit. I spent yesterday in New York City. Now I'm traveling back to join my colleagues.
Okay. Talk to us a little bit about the decision for you personally. We know that you have a young child in particular. How hard was this decision to decide to break quorum?
My daughter is 7 years old. It's very difficult to be away from her right now. School's about to start next week. There's nowhere I want to be more than home with her as she starts school. But I was elected to fight for my constituents, and part of that is making sure that their voices matter. I saw Representative Mitch Little say that they could deliver these districts for the Texas people, but they're not delivering them for the Texas people. They're stealing them. They're taking the voices of my constituents and silencing them by cracking their votes up into bigger districts that silence their voices.
Yeah. When you hear some of this rhetoric, some of the comments, for instance, saying that you all are vacating your seats, you obviously and your colleagues don't see this as a vacancy by any means.
Oh, absolutely not. We're fighting for what our constituents have asked us to do. My district is getting ripped apart in these congressional maps. And I had a town hall on Saturday where 250 of my constituents came out to fight back against these maps and overwhelmingly asked me to break quorum and leave the state. So we are representing our constituents. Yeah. In addition, I'm actually still taking meetings about other types of district issues while out of the state. Luckily, in today's day and age, we can do a lot of our work remotely.
Yeah. What do you make of the governor asking the Texas Rangers to investigate you all, Senator John Cornyn asking the FBI to help find you all? I feel like this is escalating much more rapidly, right, than it did in 2021 when you all broke quorum.
They have to beat their chests. It's what they do. But we're here to fight for the Texas people and keep the focus on what matters, which is Texans deserving fair representation and the ability to be heard in Congress. If they don't have that voice to be heard, then that means they don't get the same constituent services. It means they don't get money for roads. It means we don't get investment in their universities, in their communities. Texans need a strong voice, and these districts are designed to make many Texans' votes count less than others.
Your district in particular, you've mentioned this a few times, it would be cracked. Talk to us about, under the proposed map in House Bill 4, your district, which right now parts represented by Congressman Greg Casar, where would this section, go? For a lot of it for the part of Austin, up north, we know it goes to 27. Yeah. What happens to your area?
Yeah, most of my district is currently in Congressional District 35, represented by Greg Casar, which is a Hispanic opportunity district. And that means that our Hispanic community members are a majority, 53%, and they have the power to elect the candidate of their choice. Now, the top part of my district, Buda and Kyle, and part of Dripping Springs, would go into Congressional District 27, which goes all the way to Corpus Christi and Victoria. Now, these are very industrial communities, very tied to the oil and gas and the chemical industry, which is so different from Kyle and Buda, which are suburbs of Austin, which is tech and university and government. So very different interests. And then San Marcos, which has this historic, large Hispanic community, would be buried in Congressional District 21, which is only going to be about 31% Hispanic. And so making their voices all but disappear into the sea of whiteness. It violates the Voting Rights Act, and it's wrong.
Okay. Representative Zwiener, we thank you so much for taking some time out to talk with us. We're sure we'll talk with you again within these coming weeks.
Sounds good. Thank you for having me.